good parent isn't something that you do, it's who you are. Okay, it isn't something that you just turn on. A lot of parents fall into this trap. They might go down the social media rabbit hole, right? Scrolling through Instagram Reels, TikTok videos, and they see these parenting hacks. And when they find themselves in a similar situation with their own children, it's like, okay, time to activate the Instagram Reel. Time to activate good parent mode. There we go. I'm being a good parent. Now, that's better than nothing, but no, it's not something that you activate. It's something that you must be. It's something that you must embody at all times. You don't turn on good parenting mode. You are good parenting mode. And that applies to when you're interacting with your child, when your child is in the same environment as you, but even when your child is not in the same environment as you. It must become who you are, part of your identity. I am now a good parent. And I'm going to start this with a story of a birthday party that I went to. I went there with my daughter, and there was a boy there who was, let's just put it, quite disruptive, right? Wasn't really behaving and was bothering the other children. And the father of that boy was getting annoyed, and he looked at the other parents around, myself included, and trying to make everyone laugh, he looks at us and he's like, ugh, I raised an idiot. Word for word. Now, the parents chuckled. It's like, I mean, what else are you going to say, right? It's like, okay. But he failed to realize that the child was in the same room. Now, not directly next to the father, further away, but don't forget, children are like sponges. They're taking it all in, and you bet that child heard that. Now, put yourself in the child's shoes, right? In their perspective. You're there, and yeah, perhaps you're disrupting the party. But then you look over and you see your father say, we raised an idiot, and get some laughs. Well, we talked about core beliefs in the previous episode, but what core belief might that instill in the child? I am an idiot. Seed is planted and it grows, and perhaps later down the road, right, when the child is older, it might become part of their core identity and create a lot of problems and a lot of self-sabotage in their life. So a key skill here is, one, as I talked about, always be in good parent mode. Even if you're talking to other adults, even if you're like, maybe my child won't hear, let me make the joke. No. You are always in good parent mode at all times. If I'm having a conversation with people and my child's in a completely different environment, not even in the same house or building, I'm still in good parent mode at all times. Because if you fall into this, I turn it on, I turn it off, it's just, one, too draining, and two, you'll never get it 100% of the time, and your child will easily see through it. So that's number one, be in good parent mode. But two, one thing I try to do is always ask myself, what is this communicating to them? Something, in my opinion, that father failed to ask himself, right? Okay, option one, you get the cheap laughs from your joke. Great, right? Oh, we raised an idiot. Oh, they laughed at my joke. That's the ROI there. Option two is you don't make the cheap joke and you actually ask yourself, like, okay, well, what would this communicate? It's going to hurt my child's, in terms of their identity core belief, right? Who they think they are. Let me actually go work on the situation. So he didn't do that. But once more, the lesson here is what I'm doing, what I'm saying, communicating to my child. And you might even be having an adult conversation, right? You're talking with other adults. You don't even think your child's listening. Always act and be as if they are, because more often than not, they are. You don't think they find it fascinating when you're talking to other adults? You don't think they want to peer in and see, what's that like? What are they saying? Just because you're not talking to them or talking about them or involving them, they're paying attention. And this also applies just to even casual talk. We talked about before in a previous episode, one thing I try to do is show my daughters that I have a very positive relationship with work? Well, what if, say, you're talking to other adults and there's all this complaining about work? You're like, oh, work, work, work. Hey, they're going to see that. That's also going to influence them. So once more, you can't do this. You can't turn it on. You have to embody it. Okay? Now, with that specific situation at the birthday party, it didn't stop there. Okay? The kid, the boy, later threw, of course, a tantrum and started screaming and, again, disrupting the party more. Now, the father wasn't happy. Cheap joke, but then it's like, okay, enough of this. And he went up to his kid and ultimately just started saying, hey, why didn't you stop when I told you to stop? You should know better. Go apologize. Something along those lines, right? And that can be the reflex. You're like, hey, I told my child a couple times to calm it down. I even made the joke. They don't calm down. Now they're screaming. They're throwing a tantrum. Hey, enough of this. Hey, you should know better. We taught you better. Why didn't you listen before? Enough of this. Go apologize to the other people. Go apologize to the other kids. Go apologize to the one having the birthday. Go apologize. Now, this, as you know, goes against the golden rule. That rule being letting your child know that it's okay to experience whatever they're experiencing. Letting your child know that it's okay to feel whatever they are feeling. Hey, you're having a tantrum? You're having big feelings? None of that. You should know better. Go apologize. Not good. Okay, and what does this also do? Once more, what does this communicate to my kid? Well, one, it makes them feel like a complete idiot. You should know better, dumbass. That's what it communicates. You should know better. It's ultimately calling the person an idiot. Now, I know this saying is used quite a lot. You should know better. We taught you better. But be careful. Because once more, okay, look, we did teach them better. And it's very polite. I'm not insulting or yelling. I'm just saying, hey, you should know better. Yeah, but what does it communicate? Always look for the layer beneath. It communicates idiot. You should know better, but you didn't, so you're an idiot. That's literally what it's saying. So not only is the child now having a tantrum, not only are the feelings not acknowledged, but then it's, hey, not only are you having tantrum, idiot, idiot, idiot. And it also shows that you just don't understand them. There's not that connection there. And that can make things worse, right? Think of the last time you were having a hard time or were very triggered. Once more, what do you want? Someone to understand you. Someone to get what you're going through. Not someone to go say, hey, you should know better. And even with the go apologize, what does that communicate? Humiliation. Hey, go apologize. Now, there's nothing wrong with apologizing. And in certain cases, it's very important to apologize and to teach that to your children. Hey, go apologize. But there's a time and place. In the middle of a tantrum, in the middle of just, again, having those big feelings, that's not the time and place to go apologize. That's the time and place to work on those feelings, to feel through them, to acknowledge them, to validate them. Then after that, sure, hey, let's go apologize to the other kids. But not then and there. So again, child's perspective, one, I'm an idiot, right? We raised an idiot. Building on that, you should know better, double idiot. My father doesn't understand what I'm going through, and my father's saying, hey, humiliation, let's go apologize, right? And it's loud, so everyone's staring too. Now, of course, the boy said no, and this got the father more angry. And he started yelling. He's like, what's wrong with you? Go apologize. Now, once more, it's doubling down on the humiliation, but let this land too with anger. When you really let that take over and you snap like that, it shows, again, that you're not attuned with what the child is going through and you're more focused on what you're going through. It's more of like, why are you doing this? Why are you bothering? I just want to enjoy my time and have drinks with the other adults over there in the corner. Why are you doing this? This is about me now. And this is, once more, the same with that question. What is this communicating to my kid? Putting yourself in their shoes, one of the hardest things to do, especially in tantrums, because we always bring it back to us. How is this affecting me? How is my kid's behavior affecting me? How is what my kid doing or saying affecting me? And you really got to pause there. And trust me, for myself, it's hard too. I have to pause, put myself in their shoes, and it's like, hey, it's not about me right now. It's about them. Let it land. It's not about you in those moments. It's about them. And screw your little fun. Once more, what could you get? Okay, I could have some fun talking to the other adults, small ROI, or I could significantly help my child and improve their future and their self-esteem. I mean, it's an easy choice, but hard to see in those moments. Screw that. You can go have drinks with the other parents whenever you want. You can talk to the other parents whenever you want. You can make any other joke with the other parents about anything else but your children whenever you want. So, again, this is seeing the layer beneath the surface, right? I'm just focused on my own feelings. And then, of course, it escalated to threats. What does that do? It puts them in a fear state. So it's just amplifying. Now, and this is, again, my very logical, analytical, social skill background, understanding of trauma, deep inner work coming into play. If it sounds overwhelming, that's normal. This is something you work at, okay? And I'll talk about this later. But it didn't stop there. So threats, and then the mom got involved, right? So she came up, and she came up with questions. So she goes to the boy, and she's like, hey, so why do you think all this happened, right? Why were you doing that? Tell me. What's, what are you going to do now, right? Are you going to change? What are you going to do now with all this? Now, this sounds good on paper, questions. The same with, why are you feeling these feelings? Why do you think you're feeling this? Sounds good on paper, right? You might even see that question, why do you think you're feeling this? And think, well, that's acknowledging and validating their feelings. That's a great line right there. Layer deeper. What could this do? Put yourself in the child's perspective. What could it do? Well, one, it could overwhelm them, because not only are they dealing with what's going on inside, right, especially at a very young age, can't regulate their emotions. They're like, what's going on? What is this? But then you have someone else coming up saying, hey, you don't understand those feelings? Well, let me pile this on. Why do you think you're feeling those feelings? What are you going to do about it? Where do you think they came from? Why do you think this happened? Overwhelm. And going a layer deeper than that, it also conditions them to think that they have to understand their feelings for them to be valid. This is huge, by the way. Hey, for your feelings to mean something, to be valid, to be okay, you need to understand them. Why are you feeling this way? No. They can feel this way for whatever reason. The message is, it's okay to feel what you're feeling, not why are you feeling it. Now, that can, of course, come after, but not during. No. So she fell into the questions trap, right? And then took it to the next stage, which is usually advice, right? Now, you might think, again, this is more neutral. Questions and advice. It's better than screaming and threats. Sure, but it's also not ideal, right? With the advice, it's like, hey, next time, It reinforces you're dumb. Hey, here's the advice, dummy. You didn't figure this out? Let me help you figure it out, dumb. That's what it communicates. You should have known this. So this is how I personally analyze. And again, I take it to the extreme, but I analyze situations with other parents, like at this birthday party. I analyze even within myself, everything that I'm saying, everything that I'm doing, what is communicating. I'm constantly trying to put myself in my daughter's shoes, seeing things from their perspective. And once more, it's a very limited perspective, different than yours, because they are a child. And if it sounds overwhelming, it's because it is. Like I said before, this is something that you work at. It's also something that you won't be perfect at, right? Just because even with this kind of breakdown thinking doesn't mean that I'm perfect all the time. There's still times where I fail, times where, like I said before, it's about them right now, not about me. I'll still fall into, look at what you're doing to me. That'll happen. But here's the thing. If you do fail, the most important thing is to repair that after the fact. Key. This is what I personally do. If I fail, and I'm like, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have acted this way instead. Well, then I'm going to go to my daughters after and say I'm sorry and acknowledge it. And not just that, but in the acknowledgement, and again, depending on the age, I'll also explain why I'm sorry and why that wasn't the best course of action and what I should have done. So it's not just, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry about before. It's, hey, I'm sorry about before. And once more, it's let them know that you understand them, understand their experience, validate their experience. I'm sorry about before, right? If you're the dad at the birthday party, hey, I'm sorry about before and about making that joke. I didn't mean it. That was not something that I should have said. I was trying to get laughs, right? I think you're a very smart person, and I'm sorry I shouldn't have done that. Then even apologize for the rest of it. And I'm sorry that I didn't see what you were going through. And I'm sorry that I yelled. I shouldn't have yelled, and so on and so forth. And ultimately repair it. And it's okay if it's not perfect too, because even in the repairing, one, you show that you're not perfect, that you also mess up, which, what does it communicate to the child? It's okay to mess up. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. Look, my dad messes up too. Good. And you can still then pass on the way you should have reacted earlier by replaying that situation, explaining it, and showing them what you should have done. Right? Reinforcing once more, it's okay to feel what you are feeling. So suck it up. Put your ego aside. Especially if their tantrum triggers you, last thing you want to do is, this kid. It's like, hey, go apologize. Right? And even logically, you can look at it. Like from that dad's perspective at the party, it could be like, well, what do you mean apologize? My kid's the one who disrupted the party. My kid's the one who threw a tantrum and screamed and didn't apologize. And you want me to apologize for what my kid did? No. Put your ego aside. Go apologize. It's worth it. And once more, it doesn't take away from the fact that what they did perhaps wasn't ideal. And like I said, there's a time and place to talk about that too. You can talk about that after the apology, or even let some time pass and then talk about it. But, because that's important too, right? If you don't teach your child how to function within society or function with the world, it won't be good. If your kid's disrupting every birthday party they're invited to, chances are they might not be invited to other birthday parties. So part of your role as a parent, in my opinion, is also, again, preparing your kids for the world. The ideal thing you want when other people meet your kids is one for them to like your kids and want to spend time around them, as opposed to, we got to tolerate this kid. All right, there's another family that I know that comes to mind where their son is also the way they'd put it, a terror. And it's gotten to the point where the kid has a reputation among pretty much everyone, right? So it's like common chat now where you'll walk in and like, they're coming. That kid's such a terror. And even the mom will say, yeah, he's such a terror and such a terror. It's like, not good. Like, imagine again what that instills in the child. Oh, he's a terror. He's a terror. No. Now, what am I bringing all this to? The importance of studying this. For real. You're a parent, or if you're going to be a parent, study it. It's, in my opinion, the most important thing you could study. If this sounds overwhelming, well, study it to a point where it doesn't feel overwhelming. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? It baffles me too how so many parents just wing it, right? And there's mainstream advice too, like trust your gut. Now, in one context, yes, trust your gut, 100%, and trust your gut over anything from one context. It makes sense. You know your kid better than anyone. You know the nuances, the dynamics. Trust you. Always filter everything through you. But that doesn't mean don't seek external feedback and external advice, right? It's not just only me. It's both. Find that balance. So yeah, parents who don't study this, it really baffles me. They think they're just going to wing it, right? And especially if it's parents who themselves perhaps didn't have the best childhood or parent role models, you definitely better study this stuff. The same with personal development. It baffles me that people don't study this, right? There seems to be this label of shame around it where it's like, well, if I study self-help, it's admitting that I need the help. Oh, if I study being a good parent, it means acknowledging that, perhaps I doubt my parent capabilities. Put your ego aside, right? For myself, again, that's what I'm studying now. That's what I'm working on now. I'm not above it. And I'm also not just stopping with my, you could say, knowledge of personal development and self-help, right? Because that too, it's like, hey, look, I know everything about self-help. I'll be fine. No, there's always levels. So study it up, put your ego aside. And once more, isn't your child or children the most important people in your life? Right? Isn't your family the most important people in your life? Well, then isn't it worth it? Why not? Like, worst case, if you study this stuff, you'll just have what you know reconfirmed. That's the worst case. But you really didn't lose anything. Right? Like, what I'm talking about here, I'm saying it for the video, but by saying it for the video, it also reaffirms it to me. Like, there's no limit where it's like, oh, I've heard this thing enough. No, I want as many reminders. I could have reminders about this non-stop. Okay? So that's the approach I take. I'm studying this. I'm viewing it through the lens once more of social skills, letting go, all these different paradigms. But the key question is what is it communicating to them? And with studying this, it also means working on yourself. All right, doing the actual work yourself, healing yourself so you don't pass down certain patterns, so you break the cycles, right? Like that father at the birthday party, guaranteed was not into personal development at all, guaranteed. Would probably laugh at the recommendation, like, hey, would you look into it? It's like, what? Nah. And it just shocks me. I'm like, but why? Don't you value yourself? Don't you value your kid? Don't you take it seriously? And that's what children also do just in life. It just gets you to take things seriously. Now, don't let it add a heaviness and dark cloud over you in your life. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's your kids, right? I remember someone saying this at a business meeting. This is years before I had kids myself. People were talking about certain steps to take, and there were some risks involved. And one thing he said to another person who was a bit casual about it is, hey, man, this isn't a game to me, right? You're single. It doesn't matter. This isn't a game to me. I have kids. And I remember hearing that, and as a single guy myself at the relationship, but no kids at the time myself, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Wait, does he mean I'm not taking it seriously? But I didn't truly understand it until I had kids. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Like, it's still fun. It's still a game, but like, it once more shows what's important to you. It brings what's valuable in your face. It's like, hey, no more messing around. No more productive procrastination. No more letting your ego get in the way, right? Again, study the stuff. The same with people who have, social anxiety or care so much about the approval of others. Having kids, and I'm someone who's done a ton of work on overcoming that, but having kids even helped more. Because then it's not about you. It's like the kid's more important than anything. You're out in public with your kid. Like if I'm at a restaurant, I'm going to do all the little funny voices and stuff, and I'll have people stare, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. So once more, it really brings what is important to you to the surface. All right. Now, I talked before about how having children also allows you to re-experience or ultimately relive life through their eyes, right? You can show them the things that excited you in life or brought you so much joy in life, and you get to see them experience it. And just through osmosis, you get to experience that yourself as if it were for the first time. And in terms of studying this and learning, I would also just be open to learning from your children. And that's what I do. It's they teach me what I lost or what I forgot, right? Even just that childlike excitement about anything and everything, things that as adults we take for granted, right? Robert Greene talks about this in his book, Mastery. He says that children, the quality that they have is that they have this just insane fascination and passion with everything. But the downside is that it's a bit more ADD all over the place. So it's like butterfly, sky, grass, whoa. Now, as people grow older, adults, they developed, you could say, even the discipline and focus and ability to just stay locked in on something for a long period of time as opposed to being so ADD, but then they lost that childlike fascination. And what he says in his book is if you're able to combine the two, or resummon that childlike spirit with the ability to focus at a task that you develop as an adult, that's when you hit true genius. But it's so crazy how, again, most adults, our lives just get so serious and rigid. We lose touch with that excitement. We get used to things so fast. Things that, again, would at first like, whoa, we're like, meh. That, yeah, I mean, even for myself, having kids around just always reconnects me with that. Again, that child spirit, excitement, and just, again, fascination with life as opposed to life. But also it gets you back in touch with your inner child, right? One thing I personally tried to do, and I'd suggest trying it out, is on a regular basis, ask yourself, what would make my inner child happy? That's the question. And I know it sounds cheesy. What do you mean inner child? But think about it. What would make your inner child happy? I experienced this at first without even thinking this. When, say I would show something to my daughters that I was excited about as a kid, right? Even, we traveled to Switzerland when I'm born and raised, and my parents kept a lot of the toys that I had growing up, like little figurines and stuff, and showing that to my kids was like, oh, look at this. Like I felt inside my inner child just screaming with joy, right? Just, oh, like it was awesome. My parents also had all these old movies and stuff, and we put part of one on. And I remember too, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen this movie in forever, right? It was the Land Before Time. And I remember putting that, and it's like, oh, I felt my inner child just, and it got me thinking, like, wait a minute, I don't have to just do that when my kids are around. What about on my own, right? In my free time, ask myself, what would make my inner child happy right now? And do that. And if you're someone who perhaps lost a lot of passion, you're not that in touch purpose-wise, or nothing feels so fulfilling anymore, just say, hey, what would make my inner child proud? And go back to your childhood, whatever you remember from it, and say, well, what did I like then? And let me do some of that. Even eating, you're like, well, I really like this one dinner or lunch when I was a kid. Well, give yourself that lunch. I really like watching this cartoon. Put the cartoon on. I really liked doing this. Like, even me, I played music, guitar from the age of 8 and composed from the age of 12. And I was so into music. That was my first purpose and love. It's actually why I first moved to America. And I haven't played in the longest time. Now, I'm peak fulfillment with my job because, little side tangent here, if we take music and what I do for work, right, coaching when it comes to personal development, it hits on the same things where the seminars, right, the speeches, the crowds, that's like the concerts. The videos that I put online, those are like the songs. And then the advice in the videos, there's the same creativity that I have when I compose the songs. So it's just as fulfilling. But I had paused doing music since 2009, 10 on. And I'd play the guitar occasionally, but not that much. And only recently did I start getting back into music. Now, just as a hobby, but yeah, I'm back in it, and I'm recording my album. Who knows how long it'll take? There's no deadline, but just by bringing that back in, small doses in my life, I could feel again my inner child going, yes. So what would make your inner child happy? Bring that in. right? And it could be anything, even just being like a goofball at times. And that too, it's like embrace what your kids have to teach you, including the chaos. All right, I've seen parents take on the mindset like, no, my children must adapt to me. I'm the parent, they're the child, I'm the boss. I'm not going to adapt to you in your life and lifestyle. You adapt onto mine. No, it's both. Yes, you teach them, but they have so much to teach you. Adapt to them. Let some of that chaos and, again, fascination and excitement and passion into your life and embrace it. Don't resist it. Don't hide it. I believe it's Ryan Holiday who talks about this, where I saw a video, and I'm paraphrasing. He says something like, I go to some parents' houses and everything is just pristine, right? It's clean and it looks as if no kids live there. That's how clean it is, right? And I've been on a fair share of play dates and situations like that too. You go in, it's like, wow, it's way too clean here. Look, almost impossibly clean. How do you do it? It looks like you don't have kids. And what he said, and that's his opinion, is, which I agree with, I don't want my house to look like there are no kids there. No, I want some of the mess. I want the toy lying around, so on and so forth, because that's what's going on. And that spoke so true to me. I'm like, yes, you put into words how I felt about it. Great. Yeah, let the mess enter a bit. Now, again, you can also go overboard, but I talked about before how we fall into this like rigidity with our adult lives. It's like, no, let the kid mess enter. Let it disrupt the status quo. And that's usually when things change for the better, right? So, yeah. Things I personally think about, things that are on my mind. And actually, I guess I'll wrap with this last one, which was a video I saw from Jordan Peterson. And I talked about him in a previous episode. I like a lot of what he says. Not everything, but a good amount. And in this video, someone was asking him, what's one piece of advice you would give to new parents? Right? Or if you went back in time, one thing that you're like, I'm glad I did that, or the most important thing you would do. And he said, especially with young children, spend as much time with them as you can. Now, I would take it further and say, young, old, like no matter what, spend as much time as you can with your kid. Right? Now, they might not want to as much later on, but hey, spend as much time with them. But he said that he pretty much cut down his lifestyle to just work and spending time with his kids. Now, like I said, I half agree. I think, yes, spend as much time with your kids, 100%. Work, yes, but still also allow some passion and fun in your life. Don't sacrifice everything. Talked about in a previous episode, being viewed as the hero, being the hero. But he said, your kids ideally should be, right, your favorite people in the world. I mean, that's how I feel. My favorite people in the world are my daughters, my family. So if that's like the favorite people in the world for you, why would you not spend as much time as you can? The good and the bad, even later on. Anyway, random thought, but we'll wrap it there. I hope you enjoyed. Again, advanced empathy, putting yourself in their shoes. What does this communicate? Thinking beneath the surface, studying this, learning from them too. And as always, until next time.